It seems like these days you can't go a single day without opening up some kind of news media outlet and seeing something terrible happen. And it's never just one thing now. It seems like every day there are multiple horrible things happening out in our society. Vilest evils being done. And it's depressing to see that every day. And you might think to yourself, the world seems to be getting worse and worse, that we're in a moral down spiral. And I've even heard people say the world has never been more evil than it is now. And I don't quite agree with that. I think the world has been like this for a very long time. In Ecclesiastes chapter 8, the author makes this observation. Ecclesiastes 8, beginning in verse 10. He says, "Then I saw the wicked buried. They used to go in and out of the holy place and were praised in the city where they had done such things. This also is vanity, because the sentence against an evil deed is not executed speedily. The heart of the children of man is fully set to do evil." The author observes the wicked being done in the world. He sees that there are people treating others terribly and literally getting away with murder. Not only is wicked being done, but there seems to be no justice being held against the wicked. Why? Because the people ruling the courts of man are also evil. If they are evil, then nothing's being done about the problem of evil. And so there's evil out and about, evil not being held justice, and evil is even being celebrated out in the streets. All this at the time of Solomon, thousands of years ago, yet it sounds a lot like today. People do terrible things happen to good people. This is sadly a reality of a fallen world. It's a depressing thought from a book that is very much seen as depressing. The author not only examines this, but he goes through his own personal journey at the beginning of the book, seeking fulfillment and satisfaction and meaning in life from what the world has to offer. He talked about how he dedicated himself to gaining wisdom and wealth, and yet he observed that in the end he would die and none of it would go with him. He would lose it all. So he says, what's the point? So rather, he dedicates himself to his work. He says, maybe I could leave a legacy behind by what I build. And then he comes to the thought and the conclusion that I can build all this up during my lifetime, but then I die, and who knows whether the person who inherits my work will have the same passion and dedication as me. Maybe he'll just ruin it all, and then everything he dedicated his life to is completely destroyed after him. And he's thinking, what's the point then? It all seems vain. Many people in this world rack their brains with questions like these. What's the point to life? What's the point to dedicating myself to work if I'm going to die and it leaves no impact? What's the point to building up wealth and wisdom and knowledge if I'm going to die and not take any of it with me? What's the point of doing good if it seems evil gets to benefit more in this world? And if evil people take advantage of the good, it seems harder to do good. So, what is the point of it all? And if your entire worldview, your entire way you view life is just on this life, if this is all you know and all you see, those kinds of questions and thoughts can completely destroy a person. But the author of Ecclesiastes looks beyond this life, and that's where he finds his hope and satisfaction in life. Finishing off that paragraph in chapter 8, he makes this observation as well. Though a sinner does evil 100 times and prolongs his life, yet I know that it will be well with those who fear God, because they fear before him. But it will not be well with the wicked, neither will he prolong his days like a shadow, because he does not fear before God. Solomon says that the wicked person can act terribly his whole life, do what he can to prolong his life, but eventually that life comes to an end. That's a reality for everyone. And at the end of this life, there will be a judgment. All things will come into judgment. God sees all. So we might think wicked prevails in this lifetime, in this earth, but God will set all things in order. And I want to read the concluding words of the book, words that should sit with us all and motivate us to work through this life, no matter how bleak it might seem. Ecclesiastes 12 and verse 13, the author ends the book with these words. The end of the matter, this is the end of the matter. All has been heard. For God and fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every deed into judgment with every secret thing, whether good or evil. What the author says is this life is not all that there is. What happens in this life is not all that matters. There is a much more important thing you need to be living for, the life to come. So, where is your fulfillment in your life? Where is your drive? What is your purpose? Is to fear God and keep his commandments. Live for God. Because one day there will come a time where all of our deeds, all of our works will be brought before God, and he will judge the wicked as he will. And you'll say to the righteous, well done, good and faithful servant. And we will get to enter into a life where there's no more pain, no more news of evil things being done, but there's just peace and joy and total fulfillment. God has offered that to each and every person here. He has offered forgiveness and salvation by the price that he paid with his son's blood. So if you would like that hope to get through this life, if you would like a relationship with God and start living for good rather than evil, you could be baptized tonight and start your life with him. If there's anything we can do for you, anything we could pray about, please let us know as we stand and sing this invitation song.